Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about the classic comedy Stripes, starring the inimitable Bill Murray. Now, if you were to ask people to make a list of some of the great comedies made in the 20th century, I would say that Stripes would end up on that list. I know it would end up on my list. And Bill Murray is a national treasure. I wish that he were doing more films, but I treasure all the ones that he produced. He does. Though interestingly, while watching this recently with my wife to listen to the commentary track, I kept thinking of Life Aquatic, Steve Zissou, which made me smile. Now, the plot of this film is fairly simple. Two best friends find themselves completely down on their luck and decide that they have nothing else to lose. Let's join the army. And its simplicity, in many ways, reminds me of the screwball comedies of the 1930s and 40s. There wasn't a lot of depth there. You throw up some relatively fluff-like storyline, and you just let it run, and you let it get as absurd as it needs to get you to the end. And that's what this film does, and it's vastly entertaining. It's a lot of fun. I was just very much entertained by this film. Now, if I were looking for some person's name in here, and I'm not going to find it now. Okay, yeah. All right, sorry. I thoroughly enjoyed myself the first time I saw it, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself this time I saw it. Now, the reason I bought this particular DVD is that it's the extended, okay, I can't really say there. There you go, extended cut. It says right there, extended cut. And footage was put back in that had been originally deleted when the theatrical version had been released. And I read a number of Amazon reviews that said that this additional footage filled in gaps for people, that it explained things better. And I thought that was kind of interesting because I didn't really remember there being any gaps in the film. But, you know, I'm all for more information, so I watched it, and they actually bracketed all the extra footage so you could actually see that. And they were doing the commentary to say, okay, this is the extra footage starts here, and they talk about the extra footage, and then this is the extra footage ends. It was kind of interesting. And the commentary was quite enjoyable to listen to. I thoroughly felt it was entertaining in and of itself. But I didn't think that the extra footage really brought anything to the table. Yes, it did in fact explain things to in greater detail, but I don't think it really improved the film. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes what you leave out is as important as what you leave in. And the footage they cut, for the most part, had no impact on my enjoyment of the film. Now, I'll admit there is one scene with P.J. Souls playing one of the security guards, one of the MPs in the film, who is topless. So that was rather pleasant. So maybe I would have enjoyed if they'd left that in. And now, today, at 45, I definitely was entertained by it, and I smiled. But there was also a scene in here about the two main characters in civilian clothes hopping on an army transport plane and taking a trip. I think it was to Central America, but it could have been South America. I don't know. It was done in a very generic way. And they basically get kicked off the plane with a parachute for something which they are not trained to do. And then they get captured by these, like, communist rebels, you know, and Marxist rebels of some variety. And, of course, wackiness ensues, and then they catch themselves free, and then they make it back to the transport plane in time, and they get whisked back to America to continue the storyline that was in the film. And this scene was out of the blue. It just made no sense in the context of the rest of the film. It had no place in this movie at all. It just... It was very wisely cut from the theatrical version. I know that it would have broken up the flow. It would have thrown you completely out of the film, which is about these guys on a military base training in boot camp and their eventual success, and then their deployment for their first mission in Europe. It was just a horrible pointless scene, and I'm really glad that I had never seen it until now, and I don't ever need to see it again. I was disappointed in it. I don't really know why they made it. I don't really see the reasoning behind it. Even with the commentary, I'm still not 100% sure why they made this scene. I think they don't know. I think they were very apologetic about the whole process. But if you enjoy Stripes, and I can't imagine anyone who enjoys comedy and doesn't enjoy Stripes, and you enjoy commentary tracks, and if you're a film buff, you enjoy commentary tracks, get the extended version and watch it. Be aware that there's going to be this horribly stupid scene in the middle of the movie that deals with a side adventure that was very much Bob Hope, Bing Crosby kind of thing, but very out of place in the film. This is not a road trip movie, you know what I mean? But if you enjoy those things, comedies and commentary tracks, get the extended cut or rent it or something, get it through Netflix, and give it a view. I think it was well worth a look, and I think that you'll enjoy it.